What's up, folks? Starting a little bit early. It's only 4 minutes, no big deal. Welcome back to another episode of NevaeH, Echoes of Light. This is episode 8, and we are departing from the norm and doing something a little bit different today. So let's get started by saying hi, heroes.
Hi, heroes.
Hi, heroes.
I've turned my camera. Oh, no.
First and foremost, please tell the people who you are and who you play.
Well, according to the screen, my name is Cole, and I am playing Sammy Terranwing.
Hi, I'm Kaiju, and I'm playing Arco Vas.
Hi, I'm Allie, and I'm playing Cassandra Benedict.
Hi, I'm Violet, and I'm playing Genevieve Whiteko.
And of course, I'm the DM. So essentially, there's two sides to this story. As we've gone through over the first 7 episodes where we've discovered a lot about the players being in this dream world. But it's important to know what's happening in reality at the same time and allowing those two worlds to merge together and to meet. And to do so, the players have taken on a second character sheet that they have notably called the B Team. And today will be your introduction to these fantastic characters. So the same basic principles apply. Feel free to roll for all the chaos, albeit it's going to be a little bit worse. All right. Do you guys have any questions?
Eddie, no. We saw him.
Eddie,
Eddie, no.
you didn't tell us about that part.
You told us the monsters were worse. You didn't say that part, though. Eddie,
Things.
In the great words of Gary Gygax, fuck it, we roll.
Exactly.
Please note, don't fact check that. I don't know if he actually said that.
There we go.
I knew something was too bright. It wasn't me.
No. Because lighting is fantastic. Any questions? Allie, look like you have one.
We ball.
Yeah, all right.
We ball. BAWL, just to be clear.
Well,
Yes, like I'm gonna cry. It's fine.
Because this is all for trauma.
Oh, absolutely it
2
is.
days in a row.
We're going to begin all stories where they start, which is at the beginning. As the players recently discovered, their characters are hollowed. A hollowed person is an individual with so little of their soul remaining that they barely cling onto existence. The would-be existence of a hollowed individual now resides in a shared dreamscape. Within this shared dream, the characters are slowly but surely working towards a way to make themselves whole again. But the world beyond the dream is a waking nightmare. What was once considered an entire world of magic and prosperous energy has turned into a barren wasteland. The instability of magic in the wake of the goddess Halo's death has created echoes of magic that surged into storms ravaging the land. The world is in shambles, and a solution must be found. Fortunately, whether in the dreaming or in reality, there are heroes rising to the challenge. Survivors willing to face adversaries for the better of the world. A city known as NevaeH in the dreamscape is simply known as Veya in reality. The rustic city was once luscious and overflowing with flora and fauna, but has since become a desolate landscape. The barren town still provides shelter to survivors of the echo storms, sanctuaries to those good and evil, and respite for the hundreds of hollowed. In a bar deep in the center of town, our travelers await an opportune meeting with someone who may have a solution to saving the world. You guys are all sitting at a table. You guys have just finished what looks like a long and arduous quest through a mountain pass. You're a little worse for wear, not damaged, just rugged. Could use a good bath, good soak, but on your way back, a carrier delivered a letter to you. One with black ink and a tinge of a rustic red. They didn't know who the letter was from, only that it belonged to the 4 of you. Upon completing their job, they took off. The instructions were simple. Return to the bar you once met 5 years ago and await further instructions. Now you find yourselves at that bar. What would you like to do?
Well. It has certainly been a while since we've been here, but it does bring back memories.
Good ones or bad ones?
I mean, I met all of you, so I would call it inevitably good.
We've all kept each other alive thus far.
Sammy pushes her hair off of her shoulder, and she goes, I don't know. It's always so boring when we're back here.
I mean, the beer isn't great, but the company works.
I guess.
Yes, your question.
Is this bar actually ran by the same people?
No. Though it is has a lot of resemblances to ZZ's bar from the Dreamscape. This one is much more run down. The wood is worse for wear, but also the technological advancements that exist in the Dreaming don't exist here, as the timeline matches up more appropriately, and science hasn't gotten that far.
Gotcha.
Well, if the beer's not great, order something else.
Oh, no. I'm still dead broke. So the beer works. It's just not great.
Sammy looks over at Genevieve and goes, we've been coming back here for literal years between adventures. We know what everything else on this menu tastes like, and somehow the shit beer is the best thing on the menu.
All drinks to that?
I suppose.
Cassie sips her drink to that one.
There are other adventuring parties that have come in, as well as some of the would-be locals, travelers from other city-states, none of which you recognize, just the clothes that they're adorned with are different than the more rugged, desert-like attire that fits this area.
Hey, who's holding on to that letter?
Oh, hold on. I mean, now we've got a table, we can take a look at it properly. Ring this off the back of a rock, black gravitas.
I'm not good at this, but like, can one of you tell if it's magical at all?
I can give it a go.
Yes, Sammy. Hand the letter to Sammy.
As you're like holding it up, Zenifie's gonna snatch it from Sammy.
Could have just asked.
She's gonna like sniff it real slow. Mysteries.
It's not a cigar.
She places it down on the table and she's gonna do an Arcana check on this lovely piece of paper.
And after she does her Arcana check, I'd like to follow up with an investigation check just to see if there's any details on it that I can surmise, like where it's from or anything like that.
Gotcha.
19.
Damn.
For a moment, you feel like there might be traces of magic in the ink, but it quickly dissipates, and it's just a letter. On your investigation, what specifically are you looking for again?
I'm looking to see if I can figure out, like, maybe whereabouts this would have been from, any details about, like, the ink itself. Like, Sammy wouldn't know to look and see if the red tinges blood, but Cole does. That's irrelevant, I think, at this point. If I recognize the handwriting, like, the details of it, the finer details of knowing who it's from, where it's from, anything of that nature.
Gotcha.
Thank God for a really good investigation score, because that makes it a 21.
You can tell that the parchment that it's written on has been really pristinely cut, which isn't really commonplace these days. And the calligraphy that is used, while you can't really discern anything too crazy from the ink, its design and the aspects of intricacy give you feelings of royalty, or perhaps someone living a much more impoverished,
Posh
Privileged.
life, like
Posh.
privileged.
privileged,
Yeah.
exactly, than basically anyone in Vea.
They're living high on the hog.
Mhm.
Got it. Sammy is literally standing on the bench, like leaning over the table. She's very small, and she's like looking at the details of this letter and like moving it around and like getting down on eye level. Like she sniffs it and she's like, doesn't smell like a mystery. Just, but what I can tell you is that whoever wrote this is doing way better off than we are, and maybe we can get money out of them for whatever it is that they want us to do.
I mean, I'm always down for some coin, but if they have a solution?
We could do both.
True.
Nothing
I just-
wrong with getting paid for saving the world.
Exactly.
You're both not wrong. I just
Come on, say it. Say the thing, Cassie.
money
Yes.
mongering.
Cassie.
Which thing is it that you want me to say?
Well, you said it the wrong way. You said we're not wrong.
Oh,
I want to hear you say it.
you're correct that we can earn coin and save the world in the same moment.
She takes a bow and does a spin and sits back down on the bench.
Then he
Okay.
just claps poshly.
Arco breathes out and slides a gold piece across the table to Sammy.
She picks it up and pockets that bitch.
Ugh, every time.
In the meantime, while we wait for this mysterious, potentially rich benefactor, would you all mind if I prayed?
Go ahead.
Pray to wherever you want. That doesn't mean I have to.
Do what you must.
And then he just kind of like sits back and she like puts her hands on her stomach and just starts to pray to her patron.
While she's praying, Sammy like looks across the table at God damn it, I don't know all of our names yet.
Cassie?
No, at Kaiju's character. I can't read that far.
Arco.
Thank you. Looks across the table at Arco and just goes,
Yes.
he's really bad at whispering. Understood.
Genevieve opens one eye.
And if memory serves, you don't know who your patron is, right?
I know she's a lady. Some lady.
No problem. I'm just checking. Is there anything particular you want to say in your prayer?
Yeah, she's specifically praying that this quest will lead to something great.
Gotcha. As you're sitting there and you're making this prayer, everyone who has a drink, it refills. This is not an uncommon occurrence around you, as whenever you happen to pray to your deity, your patron, something whimsical takes place. This has not always been fortunate for the party.
Looks like we lucked out this time.
Well,
Can't
complain about this one.
Free drink. Just absolutely guzzles it. Just knocks the whole thing back.
Knock it back before it disappears.
pretty much.
She like opens her eyes and like kind of looks around the room. And what kind of other people are in here? You said they were adventurers.
Yeah, you got adventurers, travelers, some people that are locals or extended stay residents. And then, yeah, it's 3 major groups. Did you want to roll or like further investigate?
But yeah, sure. I'll roll perception, I guess. I'm not really sure. Well, I don't see fit, so it doesn't matter because I got a nat 1. But
You got a
there you
nat
go.
1.
You sure
Close
did.
your eyes
Is
again.
anyone specific watching us?
You can roll for that too. With your nat 1, you're kind of just staring at the glasses, going, "Oh, I didn't cast that."
16.
There's definitely another group that's doing one of those active listening by not saying anything and looking like they're like eating, but they're really, really still, and kind of being a little bit too observational. While you can't specifically detect if they're listening to your table's conversation, they are actively listening for something.
Do they look like they're an adventuring party? Or are they like...
They look like they could be an adventuring party or travelers, but they definitely look rough around the edges.
What you looking at?
Them.
Immediately does the most obvious turn and stare.
One
Catches
dude,
eyes and drops her head into her hands.
one dude wearing goggles immediately turns his head and looks at you, Sammy, and goes, "What?"
She leans an elbow up on the table and just wiggles her fingers. Then turns back around.
Genevieve turns and she's like looking at them and looking them up and down.
Alco's gonna just like kind of put one hand on the table and just like tense up a little.
Genevieve notices this and looks at him and goes, "Oh, posh posh." And she stands up, pushes herself up, and stands up and brushes off her robes, and she strides over to the other table, specifically to the guy in the goggles, and she goes, "Rupert, my dear," and she gives him a big hug.
I'm gonna have you
My-
roll for Dex to grapple this person.
100%. Sammy starts
Yay.
like slightly bouncing in her seat because she's been so fucking bored. She's waiting for a fight to break out.
That's a
Oh,
12.
Absolutely. I'm just tensed because, you know.
Sammy's not tense. She's excited. She
He
cannot wait.
caught off guard and just kind of stuck there like, I'm not Rupert.
She like pulls back and looks at him and like pats his face a little. "Oh, I'm so sorry, dear. I thought you were somebody else." And she like pinches his cheek.
Sammy goes up and grabs her elbow and she goes, "Oh, now, Granny, it's not very nice to be pinching people's cheeks when you don't know them. I know it's really hard not being in your room."
"Oh, but they look so lovely, don't they, dear?"
Someone else at the table, much more husky man goes, "We'll get out of your way." And the rest of them, all 4 of them, stand up and they drop a few coins on the table to pay for their meal, and start shuffling towards the door.
"Oh, no, don't leave. Please, you must join us."
You
Granny,
can roll for persuasion.
those
if you
aren't
want.
your grandchildren.
They're not trying to stick around.
I'm not going to. I don't know.
Okay.
She's
No,
just
no,
trying to
Grandma
intimidate them
Zane.
with kindness.
Was anyone still sitting at the table, or did you guys all get up?
I am. I never got up.
I just went to get her.
Did Arthur-
You know, Cassie, it's always a problem when the spellcasters get up to do something without us.
I'm tired.
As you guys are sitting there, talking to each other, there's a third person at the table.
Can I get a description of this person?
Yeah, we're doing it.
Blew your roll.
I'm just nervous.
Nobody tell him to roll.
It'll be fun, they said.
She's got silvery white hair and she's wearing a very nice dress. And she
No!
crosses her legs and she looks and she goes, "Oh, they're the worst, aren't they?"
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Hello.
wait, is she sitting at our table?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Amidst your commotion, she just took a seat.
Spellcasters can be the worst. Cassie. She reaches out her hand.
She doesn't take it. And she just goes, "I know who you are."
Would you happen to be our mysterious benefactor behind this rather well-produced letter?
Thank you. And yes, and I'd rather keep the mysterious part mysterious.
Understood.
sitting
As
in
long
my
as you're
seat.
paying, I will ask as few questions as you like.
She says, "Well, I don't have too many, but the less I reveal about me, which I'm sure is a point of curiosity, the better. So let's move on to the more important questions. First and foremost, what's wrong with your friend?"
Which one?
What's the-
One.
Sammy pushes Zenevieve's hip because that's about as high as she's reaching. And she goes, "Stop hugging the fucking strangers in the bar."
Well,
And
that's the best way to learn about people. Now, that one's in my chair.
yeah, that's
It's okay. They're paying you to be in the chair. It's fine.
oh.
She, like,
And then she like slowly puts her focus back in her pocket. Never mind then, coin.
Genevieve strolls over back to the regular table, and she doesn't sit down. She just stands across from the table, and she leans in, and she's inspecting the woman.
She goes, "You know, the older you get, the less of a child you're supposed to act like."
That would be counterproductive, don't you think?
No.
So you
So
know
you sent us the letter.
I mean, infant, near the grave. They basically have the same needs.
Not wrong.
She shrugs, I suppose. But yes, I did send you the letter. I'm glad you got it, and I'm glad you've all arrived here, though I imagine you would have arrived here regardless, so I'm glad you stuck around.
Uh-huh. So, you know how to stop all the bullshittery and the Cylokia and the wind, the storms?
No. Cylokia
No, okay.
is a natural occurring thing. The fact that it's so widespread is beyond anyone's understanding. But there is a precedence that if Cylokia is growing and it affects the hollows, then it is a magic that is creating the echo storms. So, in a sense, it's all connected. I don't have a guarantee, but I have a very good hunch.
So which part do we need to stop first?
Does your hunch come with coin?
Does the chance to save the world mean nothing to people these days?
You're covering your mouth. Right?
Does the chance to save the world mean nothing to people these days?
Saving the world.
That's
now
what
that's
I
the-
said.
Not all of us are all that noble.
Not about nobility, it's about survival.
I've survived 47 years. I can do a few more, probably.
True, and 42 of those years didn't look like this.
Genevieve looks down at the ground. We've survived to the end of the world once.
Twice? I think it's twice now.
But
Who's
it
to
didn't
say
like this
time is fake?
before.
So anyway, saving the world. You have my.
If it's coin you want,
Yeah.
I will provide the necessary provisions after you've retrieved the necessary item. Let's say if you save the world, you'll get whatever your heart desires. You're be heroes. It's kind of the whole point, I suppose.
You called us heroes, Zenny.
I heard. What is this item?
It's a soul catcher.
Oh, well, count me in.
That
Like-
sounds like something for a supervillain.
Like a dream catcher?
Similar to a dream catcher, yes, except more practical.
So we just have to go pick up the thing.
No, Cole's just having a moment. It's fine.
What is your moment?
Was Paradise Lost? ZZ's mom was using a soul catcher, wasn't she?
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
So it was one of those. Wait.
Things are connected in ways.
Oh, dude.
She looks at you and she goes, I wouldn't say supervillain. Weapons don't kill people on their own unless they're sentient, in which case the sentience of the weapon would determine if it's good or evil, and in this case the thing that you're picking up is not sentient, so how you use it would really determine if you're supervillains or not.
Okay. You know, how would one use a soul catcher for good?
Well, good news. You don't have to.
I like it. Let's... Sammy,
She's ruining
Let's
my
go get-
fun.
let's go get the thing. Let's be proclaimed heroes, and then we can drink arguably slightly better beer.
Or liquor.
That.
She looks over at your glasses, and as she's looking at each one, you can see it start to like frost over and then froth a little bit. And she goes, it'll feel better at least.
Thank you very much. Very kind.
Have we seen this happen to our glasses during somebody's prayers?
No.
Oh.
Wait. You talking about
During
18?
Xenobes.
Oh,
Xenobes.
Xenobes? No.
Okay.
You want to know who the patron is?
Yes!
Of course we do.
It's not Alice.
Is it Melanie?
Because that would have been the funniest shit, having a paladin and a warlock both with Alice as their patron.
Right.
That'd have been fucking hilarious.
24 years.
But anyways.
And, like, she wasn't intentionally my patron. It just happened. Okay, guys.
She goes, all right. Item details. First
Right,
enters.
get out a notepad and just start taking notes.
Okay. I would suggest you take actual notes.
Yeah.
DM hint, because everything I'm about to say can and will be used against you.
Of course, naturally, this is Eddie we're talking about.
You'll understand when I start telling you it in character. Soul Catcher has two purposes. The first one is a soul retrieval, and the second one is a soul extraction. While they sound the same, they're not. Extraction is from an individual. Retrieval is from a place or location other than the individual.
Okay.
It's the dreamscape, perhaps. Perhaps, perchance.
Perchance. Mayhaps.
By chance, mayhaps.
A funny story, actually.
No, please. Just a crumb of lore.
Yeah, well, interesting how that all works. It cannot be touched by mortal hands.
Well, that's
Or-
going to be tricky.
For concept's sake, don't let it touch your skin in any variety. The hands part is because people thought poetry was fun.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a dangerous doohickey.
Well,
Gotcha.
if you have a soul and you touch it, it's going to immediately begin the extraction aspect. That's what it's designed to do. If you don't have a soul and you touch it, it can begin the retrieval aspect. If you know how to use it appropriately and channel its powers in one capacity or another, then you can hold it without issue and do either function on others. Now, what you know of the Hollowed is that their soul has been split, spliced, broken into pieces over multiple deaths that they should have passed on from. Fortunately, in the wake of our Heavenly Mother, with her absence, any afterlives, heavens, hells, etc., are still inaccessible. Now, we believe that the echo storms are a result of this. All of these different realms live in a state of harmony. The gates to heaven being open to the mortal realm and those souls that pass on, allows energy and magic to pass from one space to another, keeping that equilibrium, that balance. When the gates closed hundreds of years ago, we believe that the power welled. Swollen, it is now bursting, and that is the inherent cause of the Silokia spread. So, in short, if we can return the souls to the Hollowed, then Silokia no longer has something to feed on. If Silokia no longer has something to feed on, then the energy that has broken through these afterlives should connect with those who should be dead, allowing that equilibrium to exist once again. And as I'm sure you have no doubtedly figured out, when magic is in balance, the rest of the world soon follows.
That does tend to be the trend. Genevieve is looking at her hand, which always has gloves on. So a glove would work then.
Perhaps. While the thing is not sentient, it does have an appetite. Unfortunately, it hasn't been used in quite some time. We can tell because the power of a soul is prominent. It fuels a body. When it is extracted from a body, it is akin to holding a sun in your hand. It's very obvious. So, if a soul had been extracted any time in recent times, we would have been able to detect it. Unfortunately, we have not. Which means it may have a stronger pull than necessary. You have a question, Ellie?
More so for my fellow PCs. Anyone have Mage Hand?
I do not. But I can get Mage Hand at some point. It's just not one I took initially. Sorry, I'm
You're fine.
fighting with a fucking drink packet.
It's just something I would know in character, so.
It would be wise to find a way to retrieve it without getting too close to it, or feeding it a soul so that you can then utilize it. The fortunate part is, should one of you decide to be such a sacrifice, well, there is a retrieval aspect, and if the soul is not inside of a vessel, well, good news. You know where it is. In other words, I don't care who dies in the process.
And we bring it back here?
No. Unfortunately, NevaeH does not have the necessary resources to conduct what we intend to do with it. And fear not, it's nothing super villainous. She smirks.
Damn, that'd have been really cool.
The magics that a soul catcher has is buried history. The fact that one exists means it can be replicated. If we can replicate it in a large enough quantity, then we can use the very same thing at a larger field and pull the souls of anyone who is hollowed back into their bodies.
So is there just the one soul catcher, or is it something we can, like, find in various places, or do we know where we're going?
We have a strong sense of feeling of where it is. Unfortunately, neither myself nor my son have been able to retrieve it. Unfortunately, we can't get anywhere near it. Let's say our souls are just a little bit too vast.
Where, pray tell,
that
is
be?
this signature?
In the chasm of darkness within the Boros Divide.
Oh, joy!
That could actually be fun. Might be better than the last 4 boring ass adventures we went on. Quote unquote.
I mean,
Or
you say
is-
boring. After that last echo storm, all I can taste is fish in my mouth.
It could be so much worse. Fish are delicious.
The fish used to be delicious.
They could be
It could be
again.
worse.
This is an opportunity. The magic
one
of
way
that
to
many
make-
souls being restored to reality alone can begin the rebalancing process on an astronomical level. Once the item is retrieved, it needs to make it to the caverns of Cascadia. There is technology in development, and we've been parading hollowed there. All they need
Sammy
to do is
tosses.
touch it.
Sammy tosses her last bite of food into her mouth and stands up and like dusts her hands off on each other, and she goes, "Well, I'm in. When do we leave?
Nothing better to do.
Is it like evening time?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely dark outside.
Even better. Perfect. She's still doing that.
Guys, I'm loving the energy here, but can we sleep first?
It's
You guys
like
talking at
8
the
hours
waterfall.
of pretending to be dead.
It's my least favorite part of the day. It comes with a couple risks, but I would rather leave. She air quotes rested.
I mean, you guys are complaining, but we are in objectively a safe-ish place. It's not like that time where we were at the cave mouth because someone didn't want to go inside.
Hey, I don't like dark places that much. Let me be.
Adventure implies going into dark and dank places.
I'm well aware.
Sammy just goes, coward.
I take all the fucking hits for you. Don't even.
And Sammy goes into the places where we can objectively throw her.
And not those cracks where we can't fit? Yeah.
Without once complaining, might I add?
Yeah, cracks. Sorry.
I suppose
Alright.
Granny here is going to need her rest anyways.
Oh, you darling, you know I don't sleep. And she pats her on her little horn.
After zoning out for a moment, Alex comes back and goes, "So then, have we come to a decision?"
We'll do it.
In the morning.
Go
Such a drag.
to shake her hand. Remember, she didn't shake Cassie's hand and then withdraw my hand and be like, "We accept."
She looks at your hand and just kind of smiles and goes, "Very well."
By chance I hug her and she like holds her hands out.
Granny, no.
She looks at you and she goes, "I would hate for you to be turned to ice before your mission begins, so let's not."
Oh, fine, all right. Well, one question before you do disappear into the ozone. Do we get some sort of advance? Some sort of act of good faith?
What do you want?
Well, we're going to need transportation and rest and food and lodging and all of the above, as we are all aware.
Cassie turns her purse inside out and just like 4 or 5 copper pieces fall onto the table and she just kind of sighs and picks them back up.
Sammy is very careful not to move.
She goes, "Contrary to my garnishments, I am ill-equipped to fund your endeavors."
Yeah, well, it was worth a shot anyway.
You're
And,
resourceful, I guess.
are the
She looks at you guys and she goes, and she's kind of like sighs and she grabs her necklace and takes off one of the diamonds, and puts it on the table. And you can see like it immediately starts to like almost thaw and defrost, but it still retains its shape. And then that like icy blue disappears and it's just a clear gemstone.
Cassie snatches it from the middle of the table.
She goes, "I hope this will suffice. Don't pawn it anywhere stupid."
Well, if
we
we're
leave
going to
then.
not go somewhere stupid, she holds her hand out to Cass.
Excuse me.
I'm just saying, brawn and brains.
Well, I will at least promise not to pawn it anywhere really stupid.
It's a start. I'll be in contact.
Lovely.
We'll only contact you if we need you.
You won't.
Oh,
Oh, great.
Lovely.
My favorite kind
we
of
have a
patron.
mysterious benefactor.
To keep it simple, you are not the first, and hopefully you are the last. But others have gone on this venture. To say that I am of little to no help is an understatement.
Oh, perfect.
I mean, if we run too low on funds, we could always eat the monsters we find.
You have options then.
That could be fun.
Need to remind you, last time you attempted that, it was Raw Goblin, and we all got super ill.
I'll make a fire this time.
That's what I suggested last time.
You're a bronze dragon. I
Gold.
could have done it.
Thank you
Whatever.
very much.
Potato, you make fire.
She sighs. If that will be all then.
Yes, I think we will be fine now.
Thank you for the funds.
Do you have any other questions for me before I depart? I imagine we won't speak again unless you arrive.
Did we get the name?
No.
What killed the other parties?
Huh. She just like sits back and reminisces. And she goes, honestly, anything? Bandits, monsters, storms. One group in particular got close enough to the divide, and it just got a little bit wider and ate them.
Huh.
Sorry. You can't
Sammy's
speak to
eyes
them,
get
it broke
wide
a
and
bit,
she starts...
more people fell in.
Sammy's eyes go wide and she starts smiling like a fucking lunatic. She goes, oh, this is going to be a fun one.
You are crazy. She says to Sammy.
That's not very nice.
Who said I was
I
nice?
for sure thought Sammy was going to say a problem.
No,
Sorry, Cassie was
you're
gonna
being
say
far too
problem.
pessimistic now. Shush.
She goes, if that will be all then. And she stands up from the chair. She kind of dusts it a little bit and then like motions for Zenevie to take it back.
Zenevie kind of like walks over and like brushes it off a little bit.
It's very cold to the Dutch.
This magic you have, were you born with it?
Yes. Though it's taken me time to realize it.
And what is left of Port Boros?
Well, the waters in the port is still there, though it's been still for many an age, despite the bellowing winds. I do not know what manner of man accompanies it now, but I imagine it's no good.
Home sweet home.
She smiles to you all and then heads towards the door.
Well, she was nice.
She was pretty.
Pretty, yes. Your definition of nice is bizarre.
Nice enough to let us live.
He needs us for now.
In maid. So,
I get to
shall we
be
get a
the
room?
regular, and one of you has been paid, so I don't see the issue.
I'm
Yes.
holding it because I can't be pushed over and robbed.
They'd have to catch me first.
Cassie looks at Sammy and Zenevie. She's kind of like, it's fine, we'll pawn it in the morning.
Unfortunately, I think we might have to pawn it before then. We need a room. Unless,
No, I'll get the room.
is the gold from those guys that left still on their table?
No, someone has come and cleaned off the table.
No, I'll get the room this time. It's my turn.
And shall we?
Well, Sammy heads to the inn desk to request a room for the 4 of them for the night.
There is a halfling that is standing on a stool at the counter and goes, "Did you guys need more food or drinks?"
Sammy climbs up on another stool so that she can also be above the counter. And goes, no, we need a room for 4.
Ah, perfect. Yeah, let me see what accommodations we have. We hops down and heads up the stairs to go take a look.
I'm gonna lean over into Cassie and say, I always think it's hilarious when you can see them disappear behind the bar.
It does make me laugh.
Sammy goes,
Cassie
yes, very
eyes.
funny, tall man.
He was
Sorry.
whispering in my ear. You can't hear across the room.
I thought he said Sammy.
No, he's
No,
not Cassie.
Cassie.
Oh, I can't hear for shit.
Cassie looks at Genevieve and looks around, noticing that there is in fact not many proprietors down here anymore, and then eyes the desk.
I'm not saying anything.
Neither am I.
Sammy leans on the counter and just is waiting and tapping her finger on the counter and twirling her hair.
The halfling hobbles back down the stairs and back on top of the stool and goes, "All right, our room preparations are complete. There are 2 options. You've got one that has 2 beds that are twin in size. That one is rather dirty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've cleaned it, but it's just got dirt.
It's Vega.
Yeah, not much we can do there. The other, unfortunately, has a hole in the window, so that one's rather drafty. Fortunately, because of the draft, all the dirt has piled up into the corners, so the floor would be better to sleep on in that case. I wish the accommodations were better.
And how many beds are on that one?
4. It just would be a chillier sleep.
And we're in a desert area, right? Where it's going to be real cold at night.
Yep.
Despite the heat of the day.
Yep.
Ayo, goobers, come here.
Get up and head to the bar.
Cassie chucks her.
Sammy's
drink
not
and
making this
follows.
decision.
Genevieve doesn't stand up. She looks over her shoulder, takes Sammy's drink, and downs it.
Oh, Sammy already downed it. It's gone. It's
Yeah.
empty.
Alright. She just looks over her shoulder.
So we can have a cold room because the window's broken with 4 beds, or we can have a warm room with more dirt with no broken window and 2 beds.
I mean,
So we'll be
obviously, if
cuddling
we
either
sleep
way.
if we sleep in the cold room, Genevieve is going to die in the night, and that's going to be bad.
And Genevieve doesn't
Genevieve
sleep well.
She looks over her shoulder. Yet again, I don't sleep.
We've been doing this for 5 years. You forget every night that she does not sleep.
Well, I just think it's unnatural. Also,
She's an elf.
Fair,
it doesn't
valid.
change the fact that she's going to die in her sleep. She's going to die in her trance.
She'll be fine, probably. Hey, Zen, will you die of the cold if you trance in the cold?
I'll just start a fire in the middle of the room. You wouldn't know
don't
till
do
you
that,
woke up
please.
anyway.
She looks over at the halfling. Can we do that? Is that
The halfling
allowed?
goes, "Listen, if you're paying, just don't burn the place down."
Perfect. We'll take the room with 4 beds.
Very well. He does an exchange of money with you. And then goes, feel free to help yourselves up. It's going to be the first door to the right.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. And she does a little bow before jumping off the little stool and going up the stairs.
Genevieve goes up the stairs.
Cassie follows.
Arco reluctantly follows, we could have had beds.
They weren't lying about the dust. It's definitely Even on the stairs, it's there, and where they've tried to clean it and stuff, the excess humidity has created a caked-on effect that you can feel even as you're holding the handrail going up the stairs. Um, Regardless, the room is clean. You could definitely feel the draft almost immediately.
Yep. So we get up there, and Sammy picks a bed and flings her tiny body onto it.
Anyone want to share their warmth tonight?
Yeah, I
Zoe's gonna make a
gotcha.
fire.
Please don't. I don't want to die in a fire, and that's less
Yeah.
likely for me than it is for the rest of you.
How big is this room?
It's pretty big. It's easily the size of like a pretty large living room. So all 4 beds can take like one side if they wanted to, but they've got 2 on one side, 2 on the other, pushed up against the wall, from a big window, 2 giant panes, that should slide open, but are worse for wear with a cracked frame, and cracks and holes.
Mm.
It's pretty pelted from storms.
Zen looks around the room. Unfortunately, the only fire spell I have is a bonfire, so we won't be doing that tonight. Y'all just have to knuckle up. And NevaeH walks over to kind of closer to the window and like sits down on the floor to begin her meditation.
Sammy pouts and goes, "But couldn't you make a real fire?"
I can make a real fire.
As you guys are all sitting there, you can hear a voice go, "What did you say about my brother?"
Your brother? Who?
Brother?
Do any of us have a brother
Definitely
left?
a woman's voice, and it kind of almost echoes and fades.
Sammy, you picked a haunted room. Congratulations.
Every room is haunted. This is Vea.
You're not wrong.
Okay, yeah, but instead of the exciting haunted, you picked the creepy haunted.
That is exciting. What are you talking about?
Well,
I
voices
think
in my
one of us-
head are quite normal. However, that was a little strange, don't you think?
It's a little strange, but I think one of us is a coward, and it's got scales.
I
Don't
want to
you
punch a
have scales?
ghost. You know this.
You may paint your ghost. Well, why don't you figure that out in your sleep? She like pulls a blanket up over her and turns over to go to bed.
Before NevaeH zones out, she's gonna do a quick Arcana check. You know what?
No,
Here
what'd
you
roll?
go.
What'd you
Nah.
roll? What'd you roll?
Dice jail forever.
So that one? Sounds like?
Oh yeah.
Time for the cheeseburgers.
Everything in your brain is like, all right, I'm gonna do an Arcana check, figure out what's going on, and you're kind of like looking around the room as you're doing so. Your eyes are darting from one thing to the next as you're like vastly like and intimately absorbing all the magics in the room. Unfortunately, you actually already passed out, and like this just seeped into your dream.
Fully in
Can
meditation.
I magically investigate?
Yeah, go ahead and roll Arcana.
That's nice.
Cool. A 15?
A 15. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
I mean, out of character, celestial magic. In character, fuck if I know, man. A ghost?
A ghost. There's no traces of undead in any capacity, or necromancy on display in the room, but there are faint traces of magic that you and everyone else are familiar with to the extent of to varying degrees. It is commonly seen across all of NevaeH, with the echo storms as they leave minor imprints of memories, of things that have happened in those locations, with one exception. The exception being the memories aren't always accurate to anyone in reality. I.e., let's say you personally have a memory of like you personally went into your kitchen and made like a breakfast sandwich. An echo storm could implant that memory into that room, etching it with its own magic. But it could also be a memory of you going in there and just making a bagel. Or
Okay.
you going in there and getting into a fight or something completely different. Almost like it reconstructs it or pulls it from somewhere else.
Like maybe this location in another world. Who knows? Cassie curls up with Arco and steals his warmth.
It's true, I'm a dragon.
Literally. High heater.
No
Are
question?
you cold-blooded?
What not? Literally descended from a gold dragon.
That doesn't answer my question.
I'm at least lukewarm-blooded.
Okay, perfect.
Warmer than the draft.
Guys, I want to point out now that none of us are smart enough to. The fourth bed that one of us is not using probably has a blanket we could put over the hole in the window to lessen the draft.
Yeah, fuck that. That's work. But we're going to sleep, which I am a human.
Mm-hmm. I need you all to roll a d20.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Zizi. Not Zizi, my bad. Names versus names. Except for
I know. It's me.
Genevieve.
Just the straight D20.
Just a straight d20.
You don't want us to add to it.
I got a 13.
13?
That is a 9, sir.
It's a 10.
10?
Y'all suck.
This works. You with the 9, Arco. While you're sitting there dreaming, you can see this wonderful field. It's got tall grass. It's blowing all in the same direction to such a feverish wind that it almost looks like it's like bent every strand of grass. And it stretches for miles, waxing and waning, almost like crevices in an ocean. As the breeze kind of rolls over the hills, but it's not a dangerous breeze. It's just a strong one. You're standing there, in all of your majesty as your cloak is kind of billowing a little bit, and off in the distance, something is running towards you, and it's getting closer and closer, and every time it dips down the curvature of a hill where you can't quite see it over that horizon, it pops back up a little bit closer over another hill, and it's getting closer and closer, and it's a dog. And it's a very, very pretty dog. It's a lovely black and white dog. And the dog looks right at you as it kind of like comes to a stop in the wind. And it just, arf.
Oh, obviously I'm not a monster. I'm gonna pet the damn dog.
The pet the damn dog law, yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, we pet the dog. No problem. The dog immediately, casually and calmly and happily responds to the pet before turning from where it is and looking way off into the distance, and it starts to growl, almost like it's staring at something that you can't see.
I'm gonna turn to face the direction the dog is growling at, and just, I guess, start attempting to move in that direction. I'm not sure how lucid dreaming works.
As you go to take a step, you cover about a half of a mile in that step. Your body almost just zooms forward into the location, and just before you there are trees, a bunch of trees, like just not like in a row or anything, like you're not shopping for trees, but like it's an evident forest, and time feels like it's going by incredibly fast. You're watching as the sun is going up and then setting and going up and then setting and going up and then setting faster and faster and faster. And as you're doing so, all the leaves are moving really chaotically and the trees are slowly dying before there is a burst of flame in the middle of the night and all the trees are on fire. There's a man walking out from the trees who you've never seen before, and he looks to you. He calls something out, and the dog hears it and runs over. He pets the dog, and then you wake up. You all wake up. It's now the next morning.
God damn. It'll be fun, he said.
Having
I'm
fun?
having fun.
Let's play
Thank you.
Team B, he said.
I said you guys are Team B.
Yeah, that's true. I miss the days when you had a second group that was Team B so that I didn't get my feelings hurt twice.
I'm fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I have a T-shirt
Everything
too.
was awesome.
Um,
Okay, well,
Okay.
Sammy didn't have this dream, so Sammy gets up and stretches and jumps out of bed and says, "All right, you fucks, are we ready to go?"
While
Hell
this dream
yeah.
wasn't like scary or doing anything to your constitution or anything, it was one of those dreams that was so vivid that you feel like it was real. And like even though you're now awake, the memory of it will not leave you. You know it was a dream, but also like you could have felt the grass.
Guys, I had the best dream. There was this amazing dog, and I got to pet it. It was top tier.
love dog dreams. Dog dreams are great. Should we read into it? Would you like to read into it?
You're making
We
a little
please
Yeah, I
don't
wanna-
read into dreams. It never ends well anymore.
So what you're
I
saying
need a
is
dog.
you just want a dog?
I want a dog.
How about a wife?
I want a dog.
Zoe slaps her knees, stands up, and looks out the window. Does any of you know which direction to head?
Yeah, you guys are definitely, while you're more center to Olivea, this is still on the eastern side, around what would be second district for Team A, in that border, like between second and third. So you know that if you're east right now and Boros Divide is definitely south on the continent, you need to go south.
And am I correct in believing that the Boros Divide is by Port Boros,
It divides Port Boros.
which is
It's
where
Port Boros open, yeah.
Genevieve is from originally?
Yeah.
So I would know generally how to. Okay.
Yes.
Oh well, I think we should head in that general direction. Let's
Begin our trek.
Yeah, you ready to go home, Zenny?
no.
Oh. Well, fair enough.
But this is going to
And,
be a very uncomfortable car ride for you.
I mean, the good news is you probably won't run into any old high school friends.
Huh.
Or
They're all
ex-boyfriends.
dead.
Yeah,
And she like
exactly.
covers herself with her shawl and like adjusts her like pendant and stuff and her robes and just walks down the stairs.
Sammy gets up and puts on her shit and like hops down the stairs. She's ready to go.
Yeah.
Turn to Cassie. Would it be super rude if we left by the hole in the window?
Whatever. If you want to, you can. I'm walking down the stairs. It's too early for that bullshit.
How big is the hole in the window?
Like basketball size.
I'm going to go down the stairs then.
Yeah, there's a bunch of tinier holes, like pebbles and whatnot. That one big hole that's creating the biggest draft is like basketball size. You could probably still open the window.
Oh, so we've established that it's Sammy size. It is not Arco sized.
Correct. Definitely not.
Yeah, I'm gonna go downstairs and just straight out the bar door and hope that someone is really, really greedy enough to want to hire out their horse and cart to someone going to Port Boros.
Good news. As soon as you go outside, one of the guys from the night before at the tavern, the dude with the goggles, is there, and he's kind of leaned up against a wagon. He goes, "Where you headed?"
Port Boros.
That would be a pretty penny. Not too safe in those parts.
Oh my.
Sammy just like crosses her arms and looks at him and goes, "Wow, you'll just like said Arco and goes, wow, you'll just tell anybody where we're going, huh?"
It's not a secret.
Well, it's not now.
Like, there's many places to go.
Genevieve giggles. Straightens up. Well, yes, of course, Rupert. There's a family reunion, don't you know?
She can't ride with me. Or it's gonna cost you triple.
Well, Granny's harmless.
Until they're not, though.
I mean,
You just don't
I
like
don't
getting
know.
your cheeks pinched, that's all.
None of
Right.
us do, Genevieve.
I want to see her try to pinch Arco's cheeks one day. That'll be fun.
Well, you can't pinch cheeks of scales.
Listen,
You could
Caravan's
try.
not sticking around for long, so what are you paying if you're trying to ride?
I got 20 gold plus an extra 10 if she tries to pinch your cheeks.
And he like sticks his hand out and goes, all right, pay up. We're on our way. Takes the 20 gold and is kind of counting it, and he goes, all right. You guys need anything else on the way out?
No, I'm pretty well stocked up, actually.
Yeah, we're good to go.
He goes,
Come on,
"Very
Granny."
well."
She tugs on Genevieve's robe sleeve. Just come here. She goes, I dare you to sit behind him and try to pinch his cheek on the road.
I will
10 gold
come
in your
through
honor.
you.
10 gold? If you do it, I'll give you 10 gold.
We shall see. And she opens the door to the carriage herself and walks herself in there and settles herself.
Sammy goes, I'm riding with her. You're boring. And he gets in the carriage with her.
I'll hop in and just find a seat.
Yeah, just gonna find a spot.
No problem. As you guys are all in, he goes, all right, it's going to be a bumpy road, but hey, we'll cut down the time for, I'm guessing, all the walking you would have done. So sit tight, be comfy, and let's do this. And he closes it, and then he goes to the front of it where the horse-drawn part is. You hear that, yeah, and starts moving.
Is this a closed carriage or an open?
This one is a closed one.
Perfect.
So we're trucking along.
Yeah, you guys are traveling. As you're moving out of what would be second district into what would be third district, you're seeing significantly more sketchy people, and the wind is definitely picking up as there's less protection the further you get from the center of NevaeH. See that he kind of like pulls up a scarf and ties it a little bit tighter around his face.
He like leans up to Genevieve and goes, it's going to be really hard to pinch his cheeks if he's got that on.
I figure I'd leave him alone for now. Anyone who's willing to go next to the Boros Divide is, well, braver than most.
Takes a really big sigh and like sits back and folds her arms. Just pouts.
Oh, sweet one, would you like a story?
No, I'm not a child.
Once upon a time, there was a city.
Yes, there used to be cities. I recall them.
Beautiful city of trade. Boats and ships would come into the harbor, trading all manners of goods from all across the world. And she trails off and closes her eyes.
Sammy like opens her one eye because she was just pretending to sleep and goes, oh look, she put herself to sleep.
Is she actually napping?
No,
Mm.
no, she's just closed her eyes.
Just checking.
I can't quite remember what happened that day in Port Boros.
Which day?
The Genevieve was alive when Halo died, was it?
Okay.
Dark Halo.
Yeah,
Right at the end of
Dark Waters.
Dark Waters.
Yeah. Oh, when the goddess came alive again and killed everyone standing on the dock.
On the dock.
Except for one. They say the birds still calls.
Somewhere out there's a parrot that has seen it all.
But seen it all. I cannot wait. Yeah, so
fucking parrot.
Genevieve is fully in her feelings, thinking about the day that she traveled out of town. And I'm just quiet on the ride.
Yeah.
As you're talking about it, the driver he kind of looks back a little bit and he goes, "Hey, I heard a giant ghost shark attacked that port once."
Ghost shark, you say?
Yeah,
That-
a hole right into a ship.
That sounds dope as hell, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, pish posh, all fantasy.
Ah,
I don't know.
you're an awful one, Granny.
That was hard to say.
Ish posh, all fantasy. Okay, Granny.
The character that was there.
Right? I'm like, you were there. Like, I'm like, hit him and throw you some rope. You're like, get that rope out of here.
Oh,
That was a place and a time and a thing.
ouch.
You're just trying to make me cry tonight.
Sammy.
It existed.
Oh God, fuck. Where am I? There it is. Sammy leans her head back and goes, well, we may have to go to the Boros Divide. Maybe we'll get lucky and be able to avoid Cascadia.
Isn't that where we have to go after?
She didn't say.
She did.
Oh wait, she did. Ah, shit, you're right. I got bored and stopped listening to
Yeah,
whatever
that makes
this
sense.
old lady
for
was saying.
you.
Yeah, and damn, that's a shame. Because were any of you ever in Cascadia before the world became shit?
I
No.
was.
It's a shame. It was beautiful.
Nothing has beauty now. Except that woman.
Oh, I don't know. I'm right here.
Yeah. I see you.
She just like tosses her hair. Then you see beauty every day, bitch.
Cassie rolls her eyes.
She goes, besides, it's not like you've never seen your own reflection.
Aw, how sweet.
No. She just closes her eyes again.
It's been about an hour now into the ride.
Are we there yet? Are you okay?
Am I okay?
Yeah, the scream's wigging out.
Looks fine on my end.
No, it looks fine. It just keeps like randomly doing the thing.
Oh, it's because
Or like
I'm
the
randomly
cameras
doing
go by
things.
for a second.
Sammy squints one eye open and goes, did you guys hear the ticking sound right now?
The guy in the front goes, you can feel the carriage stop, and he goes, hey, gotta water the horses. Sit tight for a second, it won't be long.
Sounds good. You hear the ticking though, right, guys? Like the ticking like a watch, like a watch.
I look around.
I don't have a watch. Do you have a watch? I'm sure you would have pawned it by now.
Not all of us are so desperate for coin we pawn our heirlooms.
We've been adventuring for 5 years, and the world looks like this. Yes, we have.
Is the ticking from everywhere?
It is definitely present inside the carriage.
I'm gonna step out of the carriage.
Sammy's going to look out of the carriage, and I would like to roll perception check.
I need an order of events here.
Cassie's
I'll
stepping
look.
out of the carriage.
And then
Marco,
Sammy's looking out. She's not getting out.
Cassie is
Crazy.
stepping out of the carriage first.
Followed by Arco.
I need you all to roll a Constitution saving throw.
What, guys?
No.
Damn it.
I have a
Ooh,
0
19.
in that.
That is a 16.
Who has the
Hell
least
yeah,
amount of
70.
HP?
I have 70.
I have 40.
50.
How much
What's
HP
your-
do you have?
Somebody rolled their HP wrong. I have 31.
No, you should have max. You're a
Warlock.
Warlock.
D10 or D8.
Warlock's a D8.
Yep.
So 8 plus your con modifier.
So you should have a minimum of 40 HP.
Yeah, I definitely didn't do that right.
So 8. What's your con modifier?
0.
40.
Okay, so
48.
40.
Wait,
So
I might have
Sammy
did mine
and
wrong.
Genevieve.
Okay, hang on. Let's figure out the health math first. Right, that's at 40. Cole, what's your dice roll for health?
That's an exceptional question that I don't know. Let me hold on. Let me go this way. This will work. Manage character. My dice is a D6. That makes more sense. Yeah.
6 times 5 is 30. What is your con modifier?
And then I have a con of 2, so that's why it's 40.
Okay.
They were saying D8 or D10 was the options, and I was like,
Oh,
wait,
no, that's in pertaining to
my
that.
math doesn't add up. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I got there.
40,
I got there.
40, 70. And what was yours again, Ellie?
50.
50. Perfect. Okay, what are your dice rolls?
I got a 16.
19.
15?
Wait, the die or the?
Your modifier, yeah. What'd you roll?
Oh, okay, 17.
17. Okay, cool. Genevieve, you're taking 39 points of damage, and you are unconscious, but you're not dead. Everyone else is also taking 39 points of damage. Genevieve, your body has also been sent into like 30 plus feet away. The rest of you, you've taken some minor knockback, but you're only like 10 to 15 feet. Unfortunately, those of you who are closer are also covered in guts from the horse, as the man is no longer there and has exploded the carriage. As you get a look at your surroundings, all 4 of the bandits that were at the table beforehand are there, and you have been driven into an ambush. I would love for you to roll dice, but we're going to do that next time you visit these characters.
Damn, son, we got pushed so hard.
Yeah, as soon as you open the carriage door, you trigger the bomb.
Oh,
Well,
That's why I was like, oh, I need order of events.
okay.
You said 39 points of damage, right?
Yes.
It's okay.
Alright.
Vi and I are just going to hang on by a thread back here.
You're still conscious
okay.
though, Cole, so there's that.
So is Vi.
No,
No.
Violet's unconscious.
I'm unconscious.
Because
You're conscious.
lowest roll.
Oh.
So
Never
your
mind.
Constitution save prevented your knockback and being knocked unconscious from being at the center of a bomb exploding.
It was underneath my ass.
Whereas, yeah, Violet basically just sat on an ejection seat.
You know, I think I can get to Vi and Healer in the same like 6 seconds.
I'll allow it if you can.
So I've 40 foot of movement, just standardly, and then I can heal Vi for like. Hold on, where are my features?
I don't think you would have the reaction to do it.
Probably not until your actual turn.
Not necessarily looking at it from the turns either, but looking at it from a surprise round versus a reaction. So like, essentially, if you dodged the fireball cast, in the wake of that movement, you could probably do something else. If you didn't dodge the fireball cast, you'd have to first recover from that before making your next decision on what you're gonna do.
Well, you asked for a con save, not a dex save.
No, well, the Constitution was because of knockback and consciousness. So you survived excessive knockback and consciousness. You guys are like here. You guys all just went like that from the bomb exploding. So 10 feet in every direction from the caravan, with the exception of Violet, who went 30 feet. And is
Pew.
unconscious.
Yikes. Yikes is the answer to that.
Yeah.
So you would still get the opportunity to get to her. You'd be about 45 feet away post bomb explosion and before combat, if that's the decision that you wanted to make. The bandits are probably surrounding you guys in a 20-foot radius positioned. What are those things called? Oh man, my Final Fantasy knowledge is failing me right now.
It's fine. It's...
Donut?
Southwest? No,
A
not
cardinal.
Yeah. What are the other ones though?
You got cardinal and intercardinal.
Intercardinal directions, yeah. So they're kind of like my fingers are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've taken some fun spells knowing that this is the world of NevaeH. That these I know these spells don't work the way that D&D makes them work because this is NevaeH. I'm really excited to see how they work.
The echoes are
This
going to
could
be
be
interesting.
chaotic.
Yes, that's why I'm like, we'll save this one for the next one because it's going to be like a lot more. But you'll have time before, like, we're not going to be like, okay, B team, you're in combat. You'll have time to do things before.
Okay.
So worry not. As of right now, we'll have to wait and see what happens next time. NevaeH echoes.
Well, this was fun.
Wait, what was the damage type of the explosion?
Probably force.
I can look that up specifically.
I was gonna say that does actually matter for me.
Yeah, it matters for me as well.
Unless it's necrotic, it doesn't matter for me.
I'm going to say that it was force for all of you except Violet, who was force and fire.
Oh, damn it.
Because of being right on top of it, compared to us being a little further out where the actual flames wouldn't necessarily have reached.
You know when somebody's running from an explosion and then the explosion happens and you see that push? That's more of what you guys got. Violet got like, I'm standing at the door.
It's like that scene in Iron Man where they test out the Jericho in the middle of the desert,
Yeah.
right before he actually has his like turning into a good guy thing.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to feel it.
I'm actually really excited about this. I'm gonna play.
I'm excited, terrified, excited.
You know what? With my 11 remaining hit points, I'm pretty sure I can do a lot of harm very quickly.
I think so,
I
too.
work here. I have 31 hit points. The rest of y'all are fucked.
Well, I have false life, which gives me temp HP, and then I also have vampiric touch, which siphons HP. So I'll be okay, probably.
You should have
Probably gonna die.
first.
I got nothing.
Well, no, he's planning to heal you.
It'll be alright. Is there a
We'll
meanwhile?
get there.
Meanwhile,
Just call me Dr.
In the
Good
dream
Time.
world.
Meanwhile,
in the middle of sleep, somewhere in the dreaming, our wonderful friend Wewe sees a beacon of light and decides to follow it whilst they are sleeping, dreams within dreams. When the 18 wakes up, they are nowhere to be seen.
they as in
Oh,
Melee.
Yes.
Okay.
That is the end of episode 8. Next week we will play a split. So the first half of the episode will be A team. We'll go on break. And second half will be B team. Unless A team stuff gets too heavy. It won't be next week. That'll probably be the week after. It might be next week. We will. If we're here, we're here. In the meantime, please tell the people who you are, who you play, and where they can find you.
I am Cole. I play Sammy Terranwing or Demas Andreas, and you can find me taking a nap immediately following this.
Hi, I'm Kaiju. I play myself consistently, and you can find me here on Twitch at the Kaiju Kaiser.
Bird. Hi, I'm Allie. I either play Cassandra Benedict or Talia Silverwind, and you can find me here on Twitch at Lava Monster.
And hello, I'm Violet. I play Zenity and Zizi, and you can find me unconscious on the ground, 30 feet away from the player.
Solid.
Hello, I'm Eddie. Regardless of who they are, I am the DM. Can't wait to see you guys on the next episode. Say bye, heroes.
Bye, heroes.